Good morning. You might hear Justice here with me, of course. Uh, yeah, you might hear us. Can you hear? Okay, of course, you might hear Justice. He's in the background. He's here. That's the reason why I have the camera off because I don't want Justice to accidentally run in front of the camera unclothed. He has an issue with clothing. And in a previous live stream I was doing, he ran out and all he had on was like underwear. And I was like, let me just turn the camera off. I don't really like doing live streams when my son is here, but in order for me to continue to, like build a larger live stream audience, I have to start live streaming more like I used to and try to keep steady with it. I'm trying to have a more positive perspective about live streaming because I hated it for such a long time. Um, I'm also like rebranding this channel all over again, and it's just like an endless process. Like I don't know how many times I have rebranded this channel over and over and over. I think in the past since like 2008, I think I rebranded this channel like 4 times since 2008. And so when I rebranded it to Black Macho, I wanted to make it, of course, about the Black community and about unity and all this stuff. And that's mainly when I started to get a shit ton of followers, when I started um, just like promoting other content. Like I'd always been promoting like other people's TikToks and stuff. But then I started like really taking it serious and I started posting like 30 reels a day. And then that's when I started getting a shit ton of followers and stuff like that. And I ended up getting to as many followers as I have now. But I have not since then, and this was probably like 3 years ago, posted as much content as I did then. Because 30 reels a day is a lot. Like, even me as a content creator, I'm telling you, unless you have someone who helps you edit, 30 pieces of content a day is hard when we're just talking about visuals. Now, if you are doing 30 pieces of content and you might have like texts or something like that, or static posts or something like that, then okay, you might be able to post 30 times. Like if you're posting on Facebook and you're just posting some words or some shit, you could do that. But damn, making 30 videos a day can be hard. You know what I mean? Like it can be real hard, especially if you don't have somebody to help you with editing. So anyway, the new direction that I'm going with my content with this channel is basically I'm just going to keep posting live streams. So this is just going to be a live stream channel. I'm not going to post long form content or reels or anything like that on this channel anymore. I do have another channel called Her Quantum Life, and that's for women. And over there, I'm teaching them how to manifest love. Over here, I'm going to solely talk about manifesting money. I've talked about money on this channel plenty of times, even before I got into the financial restraints I got in for the past 2 years. I've only been like really struggling with my money within the past year or so. But I think since the pandemic, it's been really rocky for me. And the reason why is because of my mindset. And I know if you have been the type of person that's been trying to figure out why other people are wealthy or how other people get successful, or you've heard motivational speakers and people talk about how to improve your life, they say some shit along the lines of, oh, it starts with your mindset. It starts with your mindset. And then you just be like, the fuck does that even mean exactly? Okay, I get it. I hear that. I heard that over and over and over and over and over and over. It's true, but you need to understand the context associated with that. Um, I think that a lot of people believe that manifestation is some type of delusion, or you got to be a coconut, or you got to be crazy. It's just positive thinking. It's a lot deeper than that. It's very scientific. And I tried to explain this yesterday when I was doing a live stream. Hold on for a second. Okay, I'm back. So I was explaining that yesterday in the live stream that I was doing, where I was talking about the different mental frameworks that I am teaching at once. And the complication with it basically me teaching metaphysics and manifestation, which is basically conscious design, energy, and alignment. And then we'll be teaching quantum mechanics, which is scientific observation of the physical world. And then me teaching spirituality, religion, which is faith, morality, and the connection to the divine. So manifestation is the bridge, quantum mechanics is the map of the terrain, and spirituality is the compass guiding the soul. So that's three different mental frameworks. And if you don't know how to empty your mind first and empty it of all of the things that you were indoctrinated, it's going to be difficult for you to keep up with the process of what I'm talking about when I do talk about manifestation, because I'm not talking about it from a surface level or of law of attraction, or you attract what you are, and that simplicity. That's just gumdrops and rainbows in comparison to the levels this shit goes into. But it's not even that, it's delusion. It's just that you have to understand neuroscience, you have to understand how physics works, you have to understand, how energy works around you and how your brain works and what frequencies are and things like that. Basically, you just have to understand how a radio works. You know how, well, most of you don't know how a radio works, but kind of you do. It's like you haven't really been listening to a radio lately because you've probably been listening to Spotify or some shit, or Pandora or some shit. But back in the day, we used to have to listen to the radio all the time in the car or just in general. You have to turn to a radio station of what we wanted to listen to. And each radio station had a different kind of music, a different genre of music. So you turn to one frequency, you hear country music. You turn to another frequency, you hear R&B music. You turn to another frequency, you hear hip hop music. Okay. And so with manifestation, all you're doing is turning into the specific radio station to what you want to experience. That's basically all it is. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to experience the hip hop experience, you would turn to that radio station. If you wanted to experience the R&B experience, you would turn to that radio station. So all of the desires and all of the things that you want to happen in your life, it's already happening. Like, let me give you an example, like the cloud. You know how the cloud, they always say you save your stuff to the cloud if you got an iPhone. There is a cloud. I'm just giving you a visual. It's not called a cloud, but I'm just calling it a cloud just for example. There's a cloud hovering over on top of your head, a thought cloud. And inside of that thought cloud is a whole bunch of different realities. It's called the quantum field. Okay. But think of it as a thought cloud. So in that thought cloud, it's a whole bunch of different realities that are happening simultaneously at one time. Okay. And we call that, in the manifestation community, the 5D. Okay. But it's really the quantum field. So we just call it the 5D because it's different dimensions. You got third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, right? And so in 5D are all of the different realities, which is basically the quantum field. And all of those different realities are all happening at one time. Then you have the 4D, which is your mind, your imagination, where you go to habitually think about and feel about whichever reality that you want to experience. All of the desires that you have in your head are all desires that want you to. Okay, so you want the desire wants you. If it didn't want you, it wouldn't be in the cloud up top over your head. It wouldn't be in the thought cloud. It's given to you for a reason. Every single person has desires. Okay, and all of their desires are inside of that cloud. Okay, now each person's reality and each person's cloud is different. We don't all have the same cloud. Okay, so whatever it is that I desire specifically, you don't really desire that specifically. You might desire a derivative of it. You might desire it, like, say, for instance, I might want 2 pieces of apple pie, but you might want 2 pieces of apple pie, but the apple pie is Dutch. You understand what I'm saying? You have a different desire and different perspective and something different that you want. So nobody has the same anything, just like a fingerprint. None of us have all of the same desires. We can say we want something, but how we imagine it in our minds is completely different. Okay, we could both want a GLE coupe, but the experience that we want to have with the GLE coupe or the color of the GLE coupe we want is different. Okay, now when you want to select a certain desire or a certain reality, because it's existing, it's already there. That's why it came into your mind. It's already there. It's not something that you created or you had to make up on your own or nothing like that. It was already just sitting in the cloud because it was already given to you by God, by a higher consciousness. Okay. So you figure out something that you want to desire. And I mean, you figure out something that you want to manifest, a desire that you want to manifest. And in 4D, you sit there and you imagine what you want. Now, you can't just sit there and just think about it and that's it until you become like this manifester who has been manifesting for so long. You just can't, you got it like that. But for a lot of people, it takes practice. And I tell people all the time, practice makes perfect. It's almost like when you try to go to the gym, you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to build muscle. It takes time. You don't just work out one time and then suddenly you got this buff ass body. Okay. You go to the gym over and over and over and over, and repetition is what builds you the body that you need. So it's the same thing when it's time to manifest a specific reality for you. You use your mind to persist and you think about it over and over and over and over. You're just practicing it in your mind. But you have to make this imagination, whatever this desire you want, be a part of your identity. It can't just be separate from you. You can't think of it like it's from a distance or you're never going to be able to get it. You have to think of it in a way where it's a part of a new identity. You have to become a new person, a new character. So when you're thinking about this thing that you want, let's say for instance, you decide you want to, I don't know, what do you want to do? Let's say you want a motorcycle. Okay. So you decide you want a motorcycle and you don't even know how to ride a motorcycle yet. You don't even know what type of motorbike you want, but you want to sit here and you know it's what you want. Right. So then you start looking at motorcycles. You try to figure out what motorcycle you like, what color you want that motorcycle to be. You imagine yourself riding that motorcycle. What kind of person is a person that rides a motorcycle? What kind of attire would they wear? Where would they go on their motorcycle? What kind of road do they want to drive in on that motorcycle? And you just start thinking about the motorcycle and you becoming the person that rides the motorcycle. That's what you're doing when they tell you to think positive. It's not as deep as, oh, let me just have this one thought. It's no, you're creating this identity around whatever it is that you want. You're creating a character around whatever it is that you want, and you have to become it in your mind. And once you do that over and over and over and over again, the way that the world works is 90 to 99% of what you are experiencing is your perception of reality. So if you tell your mind that you ride motorcycles and you good, you got a Yamaha and your Yamaha is, I don't know, purple, and you wear leather all the motherfucking time because you riding your bike and you like to ride down the scenic roads where some mountains and trees and shit at. If you are consistently thinking about that in your head and you are pushing that, practicing that over and over and over again, you're building mental muscle. You're building your reality in your mind to then change your perception of reality so it projects out in front of you in the 3D, which is your current circumstances. Okay, so when you look at your current circumstances right now, let's say for instance, this very thing that you're doing right now, you're watching me on live stream, right? You might have just got out of bed, you might have just had breakfast, you might just went to the bathroom, you might have just finished fucking somebody, whatever it is that you just finished doing. It is a playback of some experiences you was thinking about previously. It's just a playback. It's a feedback loop. It has no control. It has no power. It's just a playback, right? It's just your circumstances. It's just something you are now watching. Okay, you are observing it. That's it. It has no power. It's nothing that you can do with it. You're just supposed to sit there and watch it. Now, a lot of times when you're sitting there and you're watching it, you feel something, just like if you're watching a movie, right? You have like all of these strong feelings because of a scene that you saw. It's the same thing with your circumstances. Your feelings are just an indication that's telling you how you feel about something that you are observing, and then you get to decide how you want to respond to what you are observing. All right, so your circumstances have no control over anything that's going to happen next. The only thing that has control is you and your thoughts about whatever it is that you are observing. So if you want to change this particular circumstance that you're having right now, all you have to do is go to the 5D, which is the cloud up at the top, right? That I told you everybody got, and select the reality that you want. Okay, well, whichever reality that makes you feel good. If you are looking at your circumstances right now and you don't like the bed that you're laying in, or you want to change your sheets, or you want to change the channel on the TV, if you want to do anything, you usually think of it first. anything. You never just do it, right? It's always comes to your mind first. Like, say for instance, you are laying in the bed and you are, you just woke up and you think to yourself, I want a cup of coffee. You thought to yourself that you wanted a cup of coffee first before you actually got out the bed and fixed the cup of coffee. So your circumstances or whatever ends up happening is a response to your thoughts. So 3D is a response to some thoughts that you had previously. So say for instance, you don't like, what's going on and you want to improve your life, and you want to live differently. You want to make more money. You want a better job. You want to move to another city. You want to have a slimmer body. You want to have a better partner. You want your kids to have better behavior. You want your kids to do better in school. You want anything. It doesn't matter. There's no limit. It's unlimited. Okay, regardless of what you want to change, your desire wants you. That's why you have it. It's yours. It belongs to no one else but you. That's why it's there. You will never be able to have someone else's desires, and you will never have a desire that you can't obtain. To some degree, the universe will give it to you. Okay, regardless of what it is. You just have to open up your mind to the idea of the universe handling it for you. Because a lot of times with people, we want to control the when, we want to control the how. And those are the only things that we cannot do when we're relying on the universe to do something for us. All we can do is say, this is the reality that I want to choose. I'm going to create this reality. I'm going to create this identity. And then you start becoming that identity. And next thing you know, everything is just happening. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've done this. This is not me just saying this to you just to be saying shit. This is what I did in order to get the success I did, whether it was something that had to do with social media, my YouTube channel, if I wanted a regular job, if I wanted to get more clients, if I wanted to lose weight, if I wanted to, anything that I wanted to do that was my desire. All I had to do was make up my mind and decide that that's what I was going to become. And then I would imagine myself becoming it before it actually did it. Okay, it's not like some Doctor Strange shit where I'm going to quantum leap into another reality. Your realities clash together and mesh together. Okay, so when people think that manifestation is a delusion, no, you're just creating the circumstances around you. And the current circumstances that you are feeling right now is a previous manifestation. You're always manifesting. But when you consciously manifest or you intentionally manifest, the way that you do it is you select whatever reality that you want from the quantum field, which is the 5D. You use your imagination, which is the 4D. Okay, you use your imagination to practice, to prepare, to create this identity, to become that person in the 3D, which is your physical reality, which is the circumstances. Okay. So that's why whenever you hear someone who's successful, they're wealthy, they're whatever they're doing, they always say it starts with your mindset first. That's why we always say that, because it does. But when we say that to people, a lot of times people look at it from a surface level instead of the deeper layers associated with it. So manifestation is not a delusion. It's not a magic fairy tale dust. It's a cause and effect applied to your consciousness. So when done with alignment or like clear intention or upgraded self-concept, which is your identity, and consistent inspired action, it works. So the universe basically responds to the frequency that you're broadcasting. Just remember what I said about the radio station. If you want the R&B experience, you turn to the R&B channel. If you want the hip hop experience, you turn to the hip hop channel. It doesn't mean that when you turn from one channel to the other, that channel no longer exists. So just because you aren't experiencing what you want to experience now in your 3D, in your current circumstances, doesn't mean the person that you want to be or what you want to experience is not happening. It just means that you need to turn to that station. So when I say in the 5D, in the quantum field, all the realities are all playing at once. They're all playing. It's like if me and 5 other people were all streaming at one time. we're all streaming, but even if you was to change to somebody else's stream, it wouldn't mean that I would stop streaming. I would still be here streaming. You just can't see me because you turn to the frequency of somebody else's streaming. And a lot of people sometimes don't understand that concept. It's hard to think of it that way because they put this magical fairy dust on top of manifestation because they've seen movies like The Secret, or they heard people talking about the law of attraction or the power of I am. And honestly, the power of I am is probably the closest thing to actually being what manifestation is, because at the end of the day, manifesting is mainly about your self concept and who you believe yourself to be, what you identify with. If you identify with who you want to be, you just become it. And I'm pretty sure to some degree this has happened to you in your past. To some degree, you have seen yourself manifest or create something that you wanted. Every person has done it. No one is exempt to it. And regardless of how small or how big it is, something that you wanted to do, whether it was get that job that you want, get that car that you want, get that girl that you want, or that guy that you want, get that outfit that you want, those are all manifestations. Just because, you didn't consciously do it on the level of how I'm speaking doesn't mean you wasn't manifesting it. So if manifestation feels like it doesn't work or it's not working, it's rarely the principle of manifestation failing you. It's usually your alignment with what it is that you want. Because a lot of times we got hang-ups about certain things that we want. If we want something big, like maybe we want to get married, or we want to have $1 million, or we want to buy a new car or buy a new house, a lot of times buying those things or getting those things seems like a very large manifestation. But your thoughts, your emotions, your actions haven't fully synced with the reality that you're calling in. So all you got to do is keep persisting, keep practicing in your mind over and over and over again until you get it, period. And I can just keep going back to the analogy with the gym. You're working out at the gym. The first 30 days, you don't see the weight fall off you yet. So you do another 30 days and you don't see the weight fall off you yet. And then suddenly that third month, you like, oh shit, I'm slim, I'm buff. Suddenly it's just like, oh my God, my body is so completely different. And you start seeing the difference. You just got to keep going. Okay, so your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, they haven't synced with your reality yet. If you haven't seen something that you want to manifest, that doesn't mean it's fake. It means it's a work in progress, because the old version of you, the old circumstances that needs time to dissolve. It needs to be uh, demolished. It's a demolition project because you're getting rid of a old self concept that you identified with. So when you create and you're trying to be a better person, you switch to a new person, and that old person will fight for his life. I'm telling you, because it's been there. It's been there for such a long time. Like, you could have been the same person for like 5 years, you know what I mean, or 15 years, whatever. It's still going to try to get you to stay that person. So a lot of times you are going to be trying to break the habit of who you used to be, and it can be difficult for some people. Some people it's not. You get to choose at the end of the day whether it's hard or easy for you. But everything is a work in progress. If you haven't seen it, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that something isn't going on behind the scenes. Because a lot of times the things that we're working on, we can't see every specific thing that's making us become the people that we want to be. We don't see what's happening in the background all the time, but it's a lot of stuff that's happening. It's a lot of things that the universe is doing. It's creating like a series of events, a bridge of incidents to help us get the reality that we want. So manifestation isn't a trick. It's a mirror. It's a tool. It's a formula that turns your inner reality into outer results. So some days it will feel invisible, but some days it will feel like lightning hitting you. Like something like there have been times where I've tried to manifest stuff, and I'll forget that I'm manifesting it really, and I just let it go. And then 30 minutes later, the very thing that I've been sitting here trying to manifest will come. And it will come in a way where I was not expecting it at all. And that happens to me very frequently, actually. But it does work every time when your energy and your intention and your actions match. So you have to stop doubting that it will happen and check your alignment, update your frequency, and keep showing up for yourself. That's how that quote unquote delusion becomes reality. And I think that's hard for people to understand. They give up so easily. Like most people quit because they confuse the timing with failure. You plant the seed, you check the soil 5 minutes later, and it hasn't sprouted, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And others will give up because they misinterpret like small delays as a reflection of their worth. But everything that you are observing to some degree is helping, is part of the manifestation. So when you look at your circumstances and you see kind of like, you might see chaos happening and you're like, oh my God, like what is going on? That's the new version of you coming in and the demolition project happening at the same time. That's what slows people down on trying to manifest as well, because they see maybe something negative happen or they see the complete opposite of their manifestation and they're like, oh shit. But a lot of times the complete opposite of their manifestation is also part of the bridge of incident that's going to get them the manifestation that they actually want. So when you see it instantly, just know that that's the confirmation that the universe them picked up on what it is that you wanted. You see in it the opposite of it instantly is the confirmation that it knows what you are looking for and it's about to give this shit to you. But you just got to confirm that it's truly what you want. You got to look at what you are observing and be like, no, this is not it. This is inaccurate. What I want is XYZ. Because like I said before, that old identity, it's going to try to make you perceive yourself as that old identity. So if you want a new experience and you see the complete opposite happening, you got to remember that old version of you is going to do whatever it can to try to stick around. So it's going to give you this image. It's going to project this image out that you are not experiencing what you want to experience, and you're experiencing the complete opposite. Talk about some old toodles. Old toodles. But people give up because they misinterpret their like small delays as like a reflection of their worth. They see the obstacles and the setbacks or the lack of instant results, and they think maybe I'm just not meant to have this thing. And then there's like this emotional trap where you got like fear and doubt and old programming, and it's all whispering louder than what you desire. Manifestation can feel invisible, and a lot of times human beings hate invisibility. Like we want so much proof that we're going to get what we're going to get, but the proof is the fact that you even want it. Because the desire, like I said, if you have the desire, is meant for you to have it. Everything that you desires you, or you wouldn't want it. There's nothing like there are things that you can look at some of your friends and they want it, and you be like, why the fuck do you want that? Like, what do you gain from having that? You know what I mean? It's not your desire, it's for them, and their desire wants them. So we don't all have identical things that we want. Manifestation is not about speed, it's about persistence. So every time you resist the urge to quit, you're recalibrating your frequency and expanding your capacity to receive it. A lot of times people aren't in a position to receive whatever it is that they want. They're giving up over and over and over again. And that's like stopping halfway when you're trying to climb to the top of a mountain because the view is invisible yet. You want a particular view, you have to climb to the top of the mountain. And a lot of times people get halfway there and they get tired, they don't want to do it anymore. And it's like, oh my God, I'm never going to make it to the top. Yes, you will. Take a break right quick and then go back to climbing the fuck up there. The mountain is not moving. The alignment doesn't stop, only your access to it does. So not giving up is the bridge between desire and reality. It's where the inner transformation catches up to your outer results. And the universe doesn't reward someone who quits. It rewards the person who's aligned, the consistent, bless you, baby, the ones who refuse to fold even when nothing looks like it's happening. So persistence or practicing isn't stubbornness, okay? It's conscious alignment. It's showing up in your energies, refining your beliefs. Every time you're building that spiritual muscle, you're building that mental muscle, you're making your brain, you're putting your brain in a position to project the reality that you want. You are putting your brain in a position to perceive reality how you want to perceive it. If you're taking inspired action every day, okay, but the moment that you quit is the moment that the manifestation passes you. The moment that you persist, even if you persist quietly, you don't say anything. You just think it in your head is the moment that the universe keeps delivering, but you got to keep doing it over and over and over again until it crystallizes and stop feeling like there's a possibility that you won't get it. Hey, Mr. Sanchez, people think them not getting it, they're not gonna get it is the reason why they don't fucking get it because they think they can. Okay, so just know everybody, I see you, I feel you, I'm glad you're here. On this page, donations are random. They aren't random. They're part of the culture. Okay, hold on for a second. Um, they're part of the culture here. Okay, and I had to get over my hang up of asking for donations. Um, I show up and I give, I teach, I break things down, I analyze situations, I tell the stories, I entertain, I joke, I heal, I encourage, I inspire, I uplift, and I give value. And then I ask you for support. And that's how this page is going to run. That's how this channel is going to run. That's how the culture is going to run here. And that's how the economy works here. So I'm aiming every day to get $500, of course. And I know we can do it because I've seen everyone show up for me before. People donate when they feel included and valued and part of something meaningful, like their contribution matters. So I'm telling you here that you're helping me build something bigger. Supporters support, spectators spectate, trolls troll. Okay. But the money always comes from people who support me. So I only talk to people who support me, never the spectators, never the judgmental strangers. I'm not asking for everybody to continue to have like some sympathy for me because a lot of times people were donating before because they had sympathy for me. But I'm asking for support this time because of I'm giving you value. So everybody's always asking you for money every day. I get it. I know, but it's a business. Like Starbucks asks you for money every day. Amazon asks you for money every day. Netflix asks you for money every day because it's a business. And being a content creator is a business. This is a business. So don't take it personal. It's just baked in the culture. All right. If you ready to support me, you want to be a part of this, you can donate via Cash App. They're my brand partner. And my Cash App is $ for Somo. I decided to become their brand ambassador after I kept getting donations there. Like I had a GoFundMe, and people was like ignoring my GoFundMe altogether and was just sending me money via Cash App. And so Cash App noticed, okay, and now we have a brand partnership. So now I take all of my donations via Cash App. But every day I try to get at least the goal was $300 before. Like I was like, I'm gonna see if I can get $300 and get people to donate to me. Um, and I was like, I'm gonna try to get like 30 people to donate $10 to me every day. So that's what I try to do. I try to get at least 30 people to do it. Um, okay, so back to this manifestation thing. I think another um, thing that happens when people don't really believe in manifestation like that, I think a lot of times um, they think they're visualizing something wrong. They think they're thinking something wrong. Okay. But visualization, and I said this is what 4D is. Okay. If you don't remember how I broke it down, I'm gonna break it down again. So 5D is basically the quantum field. All right, that's where all of the realities are all happening at one time. And it's like that cloud over your head that I was talking about. In that cloud over top of your head are all of these different realities that are all happening all at once. That's where all of your desires and everything that you want to be and all of those identities, whoever you are, whether you are poor you, happy you, sad you, sick you, healthy you, all versions of you are up there. Okay, in 5D in this cloud. You use 4D, which is your imagination, to pick whichever reality that you want and practice it into your mind, in your mind, until it crystallizes into your circumstances, which is 3D. All right. Visualization isn't like a fast food order where the universe messes up your combo. Like people panic thinking if they picture it wrong, they'll get the remix instead of the original. But that's cute. That's cute, but that's not how it works. Okay. Manifestation isn't about nailing every single detail perfectly. You don't want to overthink it because then when you overthink it, all you're doing is like stressing yourself and it's changing your frequency and it's putting your frequency on another like station you're not supposed to be on, and you're going to end up having all of these stressful experiences. The universe doesn't care if your imaginary couch is purple or teal instead of sapphire. What matters is the vibe behind the vision that you have. Are you feeling abundance? Are you feeling confident, love, or success while you imagine it? And that's the signal the universe reads, not your exact IKEA level specifications. All right. So if you get a little messy in your visualizations, it's okay. The energy that you hold, the certainty that you have, the alignment that you already have it, that feeling is what magnetizes the reality that you want. So the details can adjust, improve, and show up in ways that you didn't think of initially. So sometimes the universe even upgrades it for you. Like you'll be thinking of something that you want, and you might think of it over and over and over again. And then by the time that you get that thing, it'll be 3 times better than you thought it would be. And you'd be like, whoa, I didn't even think of it this way. Or I didn't even think I would get it this way. This is actually better than the way that I was thinking it. The universe does that for you. So you got to stop sweating the small stuff and focus on the energy, the emotion, the self-concept behind the image. And that's how you get the original, the deluxe, and sometimes a damn surprise bonus edition all at one time. Okay, so you got to let it go. You got to trust the frequency and watch reality manifest it in a way even your imagination didn't expect for it to be there. But you got to be open to that. Like, too many people got too many preconceived notions about what a manifestation is, or they're scared to visualize it, or they're scared to be delusional for 2 seconds, because if it does feel delusional when it's not happening in your current reality right now. But everybody that wanted to be someone, everybody that wanted to start their own business, everybody that wanted to apply for a specific job, or everybody that wanted a specific kind of car had to be delusional for 2 minutes and imagine themselves being it in order to get it. Okay, so it feel off because it's a new experience. It ain't even that it feel off, it just feels new. And oftentimes a lot of people get scared of that new feeling because the old version of them is comfortable. It's who they used to be. It's who they feel the best in. And so they're scared to like maneuver or be different because when you're different, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You don't know to the T the details, but you do know the details about who you used to be because you've experienced who you used to be like 300,000 times. But this new person that you want to be, you haven't experienced yet. You know you want to be it, you know you want to do it, you know you want to have it, but you don't really know what it's going to feel like until you get it. But you can, while you're practicing and persistent in your mind, use your imagination and be like, so remember that Yamaha, that purple Yamaha I was talking about, that motorcycle I wanted to ride? I was riding it in your mind. I was riding it down the city. It was like sunset. The traffic was dope. I had a good time. You know what I mean? You're using your imagination, and you are pairing feelings with it as well. So I think when it's time to visualize, and sometimes I couldn't, like I was talking about this the other day when I was talking about why I use AI. I couldn't imagine myself like being a certain thing. Like I had been having such negative visualizations of myself for a while, and that's how I ended up in the car. And I just kept thinking about being in the car. I was like, oh, I suck. I'm in the car. I can't believe I'm in the car. And then the universe was like, okay, here's more car. Here's more of you living in the car, since that's all you keep imagining in your head. And it just kept keeping me in the car because that's all I kept looping. I kept looking at my circumstances, thinking that was all I was going to be. When that's not true, because that's not always who I've been. So I just kept thinking over and over again about living in the car. And then I started thinking about getting out of the car and living in a hotel. I was like, you know what? I want to be in a hotel. That's what I'm going to do. That's the only thing that I think is feasible right now, because I can't hop from a car to a house and just like that. There has to be some in between. So I started thinking about being in a hotel and what I wanted to do with the hotel and what I needed to get out of being in the hotel and what would be beneficial if I was in a hotel. Over and over and over and over and over and over. I would think about that. And we ended up in a hotel, and then my car ends up gone. So we have no car at all. Right? But I manifested us being in the hotel. And then once I was in the hotel, I was like, okay, what am I going to do next? And then I started thinking about where I wanted to move. And people was like, you should move to a cheaper place. And I was like, okay, maybe I should find another city or another state to live in that's cheaper than living in California. So I started thinking about that. But initially, I didn't want to move, like, because I hadn't even thought about it. I haven't even been. I was just always like, I'm never moving. Like, there's no reason why I would move out of this state or the city that I'm in because I love it so much. But then one day I was like, you know what? I do want to live somewhere cheaper, so let me see what are some things that I absolutely enjoy about living in Atlanta. Because everybody keeps saying, come back to Atlanta. Okay, so what are some things that I enjoy about living in Atlanta? Oh, I enjoy the food. I miss Zaxby's. I love the food there. I miss Papados. I can't wait to go to Papados. I can't wait to go to my favorite shoe store. It was so many things that I loved about Atlanta that had nothing to do with the things that I hated about Atlanta. Like I wanted to climb Stone Mountain. I had to climb Stone Mountain again. I hadn't climbed Stone Mountain in years because I hadn't been here. So I just kept thinking about all of the things that I actually enjoyed about being in Atlanta. And I started imagining what it would be like to live here again, but to enjoy it this time. And I was like, what would make me actually enjoy Atlanta if I moved back? That's how I ended up manifesting being back here because I had no idea I was going to get here. I didn't have any money. I didn't know what to do with my things. I didn't have a plane ticket. I didn't have nothing. And I decided that I was going to move to Atlanta in 2 weeks, basically. I was like, I knew I wanted to move here before the school year started because I didn't want to start the school year in California because if I started the school year in California, me and my son would have to stay in California for a whole nother year until the school year was out. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do. So the school was starting in like 2 or 3 weeks and I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I know I don't need to be in California. So I just started thinking about, what I wanted to do in Georgia, where I wanted to live at. And I started imagining myself with the guy that I was dating, the guy that I loved. I started thinking about him because he lived in Georgia. And so I was like, let me think about him. Let me think about being with him. Let me think about, what it would be like if I moved into a house and he would come see me after work and things like that. I just started thinking about it as much as I could and feeling it. And I used AI to create pictures of he and I together, and I taped them on the wall so I could just keep thinking about it, right? Now, mind you, I used AI before to lose weight. I couldn't see myself slimmer, and I started using AI and seeing myself slimmer, and it just helped me become slimmer. Like I can't explain it. I think it was more of me seeing myself slim over and over and over and over again because I was using it in my content. So because I was editing my content and I was using it for my content, seeing it over and over and over again was basically me practicing and persisting. And so I would have the visualization of me being slimmer, and that's how I ended up going from 220 pounds to 175 pounds where I am now. Okay, so it took me wanting to be slimmer and then using another tool to help me get there. So this time I wanted to use AI again. I was like, okay, I'm going to use AI to help me again, and I'm going to create a photograph of me and the guy that I want to date because the photograph that we had didn't come out clear. Like we had a photograph of us out at like Papados, I don't know, like 15 years ago, and it was a bad picture because it was like blurry and shit. So I was like, okay, I can't use this picture as a tool to help me get to him. I need a clearer picture. So I created a picture. I think I created three. Oh no, I created like 5 or 6. And I picked my favorite one and I put it on the wall, and I would just imagine us being together, and that helped me manifest me moving to Atlanta because the money just came out the sky. I just randomly got $200 out of nowhere. Like, no, it just came. And if the way that it fell in my lap, the way that it did was interesting. But I got $2,000 and I used that $2,000 to buy me and my son a ticket. I got me a U-Haul. I tried to pay off my storage unit as long as I could for like the next month so I could clean it out. And so that when I left, my daughter could go in it and clean out the rest of it. And I gave all of my furniture away, all of my things away, everything. And I moved to Atlanta. When I got here, right, all I had was like $300 left. When I got here, I didn't even know where I was going to live. Initially, I had a plan and I was going to move with this guy, not the guy that I wanted to be with, but this other guy who had a big house and wanted to rent out a room to me. But I was talking to the guy that I was dating, and he was telling me that he didn't think it was a good idea for me to live with another guy. And so I was just like, okay, he didn't want me to move with him because I had asked him to help me with relocation. He didn't want to do it. And I didn't hold that against him. I just felt like maybe he just wasn't prepared financially or mentally or whatever, emotionally. Like, I guess he didn't feel like we had been dating long enough or seeing each other long enough, or maybe he had somebody else in mind. Whatever it was, I didn't take it personal. I just knew that there was something that I wanted to do for myself. I didn't let the circumstances of what was happening stop me from wanting to do what I needed to do. So I kept just saying, well, I'm just gonna come to Atlanta regardless. I still imagine he and I together. I still imagined us having a positive experience with each other, but I did not. Hold on for a second. I did not let him telling me no and not helping me with the relocation stop me from wanting to move to Atlanta, because it had already started manifesting. I had already started practicing. So once, a lot of times when you have been thinking about a manifestation and you have been practicing over and over and over again, it's gonna come regardless to what you're seeing. What you're seeing in your reality, how you respond to it is up to you at the end of the day. But oftentimes when you've manifested so powerfully, it's coming regardless to what you do, because the ball already started rolling. So when I first started manifesting, trying to manifest moving to Atlanta, the ball had already started rolling. It was nothing that I could do. And then the money for it just came out of the sky. And I ended up getting to Atlanta on time and getting my son at school on time so he could start the school year, and we've been here ever since. But I had to manifest that. It took me manifesting it. It took me believing that I could actually do it. Okay, so a lot of people feel like if they can visualize what they want incorrectly, and it's no such thing as visualizing something you want incorrectly. There's just no way there's just no way you could do it. Another thing that people think, when we talking about manifesting money, is that people like, can I manifest money without constant affirmations? And I know some people who use affirmations all of the time. I don't necessarily use affirmations all of the time, but I do feel like they're powerful for some people. Like, there are different types of tools to help you manifest certain things. We were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about money mantras. Some people using money mantras. Someone asked me the other day when I was live streaming, did I script? And for me, it's like I use visualizations. I might script sometimes, but what really works for me is listening to like frequencies. So constant affirmations aren't the golden ticket. You don't have to chatter like a call center representative to make money show up. That's exhausting for a lot of people. But manifestation is just mainly about the vibration, not your verbal value. It's about, once your self-concept upgrades and your energy signals abundance automatically, the universe reads your frequency, not your vocal repetitions. The vocal repetitions are to help you get onto the frequency. So for me, instead of me doing vocal repetitions to get on the frequency, I just go onto YouTube and get a meditation that has that frequency. So it can help me get on it, because when you listen to the frequency, or you hear it or feel it, then you get on it. So I just listen to the frequency for X amount of time, and then I'm on that frequency, and whatever I want, abundance comes to me. If you're aligned and confident and acting from the mindset of already having it, money will move towards you whether or not you're reciting affirmations every hour. Okay, so think of affirmations like training wheels, okay? They help you stabilize in the beginning. But you don't ride the bike by talking to it. You ride it by being the person who can handle the ride. So eventually your mindset, your actions, and your energy do all the work. So you don't have to be exhausted and do like these endless mantras. You can just focus on living, feeling abundant, and then taking inspired action. And your manifestation doesn't need like commentary. It just needs alignment. It needs you to be in alignment with whatever it is that you want. So, and that doesn't matter what it is that you want, affirmations or not. Once you get on that frequency, you can have whatever it is that you want. And I think a lot of people just don't believe that to be true, especially when it's taken it forever. And I just said a minute ago earlier that when people don't see it happening when they wanted to see it happen, they give up because they're so focused on the how and when. But the how and when exactly is not up to you, it's up to the universe, because the universe can see everything that's happening. It can see shit that you can't see. So it's working amongst and through other things that you don't see. Like there's a bridge of incidents that gets you from one place of one state to another, like one self concept, one identity to another. So there's no skip the line ticket. Faster manifestation isn't about you chanting harder or you meditating harder or scrolling manifestation videos on TikTok and YouTube or wearing like lucky crystals or some shit. It's about alignment, clarity, and frequency. So if you really want to speed it up, and I honestly doubt that you should try to focus on this, but I'm going to give you advice anyway, that if you are trying to manifest something and you want that shit to go faster, you got to upgrade your self concept first. It always starts there, because you can't manifest like this millionaire lifestyle while thinking like someone who's barely scraping by. So if you continuously keep thinking you never have enough, you never have enough, you never have enough, then you're simply not going to have enough. You have to become the version of who you want to be, or a version of you who already has it. And that's the real acceleration. You got to feel it. Don't just think about it. Okay, because your emotions are like rocket fuel with that shit. When your heart and energy fully believe you already have what you want, the universe responds. It gives you it. And then after you've been thinking about it for a while, you start to notice that you'll have like these inklings, these like desires to do certain things, and it'll be like you have to take this action. It'll be like inspired action. It's something will tell you to do some shit that you wasn't even thinking about doing, and then when you do it, you be like, oh, that's why I said do it, but you wasn't thinking about it before. Once you take that inspired action, you have to understand that manifestation isn't passive. It's telling you to do it for a reason. So when opportunities show up, your aligned steps turn the potential into reality. So energy without action is like a car with no motherfucking gas. So you still have to have action. It's just inspired. It's different. It's like doing something in response to your circumstances is different from you doing something because your gut told you to do it. Okay. If you do something because you're looking at your circumstances and you don't like what you see and you think you need to do a whole bunch of shit in order for your manifestation to come to reality, right? If you do that like that, the manifestation is not coming. You're just going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff because you are allowing your current circumstances, which is the 3D, control everything that you're doing. But when you take an inspired action, that has something to do with the 4D and 5D, which is the 5D is the reality in the cloud, and the 4D is your imagination, basically pulling you into the frequency of that desire that you want. The inspired action will feel different. It'll be like this gut thing that you just decide you want to do. It's not like it's something that you're doing in response to something that you are observing. That's the difference. But old beliefs, doubts, and fears, they're like traffic jams on a manifestation highway. So if you're scared to do something, if you're scared to take the inspired action, or you doubt if you take the inspired action, things will work the way you want it to, or, those things like that stop a manifestation from coming through. You have to spot these doubts, these fears, these old beliefs, feel them, then release them and keep it moving. Okay, so if there's, like, say for instance, you want to get back with your ex or something, and your ex is in a relationship with someone else, okay, and you get scared that there's a possibility that you will never get back with them because the person that they're dating right now, the only reason why the person that they're dating right now is something that you are perceiving is because you got that shit in your awareness. If you was only thinking about whatever it is in the 5D, which is the version of you that's with the person that you want to be with, you wouldn't even be concerned about this person that they claim that they're dating right now, because that person will still be irrelevant as fuck. Because inside of your reality, inside of your perception and what you are projecting, you get to decide what you experience. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they have that much power over their life. You do. You literally do. 90 to 99% of what you are experiencing is from your perception of reality, not like this solid reality that you know what I mean? Like, put it this way: the 3D, like I said before, the 3D that you're experiencing right now, this is a playback for some previous thoughts that you had. So what you're experiencing right now, today, right this very moment, is the result of something that you was thinking about previously. It's cause and effect. This is the effect of some causes previously. So your control is not in this moment from your circumstances. Your control in this moment comes from what's going on in your mind. So if you want to change your relationships with people, it doesn't matter whether it's somebody that you used to date, your parents, your cousin, your da da da. I just manifested my daughter. Let me share the story about how I just manifested my daughter. All right. So my daughter, if you don't know the story, when I was living in my car, my daughter, hold on, wait a minute. My daughter, I manifested my daughter. So when I was living in the car, sometime in June last year, I was living in a car, and I had been really like pissed at my daughter because we wasn't supposed to be living in a car. Part of the reason why we were living in a car was because some decisions I made and some decisions that my daughter made about her wanting to manage a pizza restaurant. I did not want her to manage a pizza restaurant because I felt like she would not generate enough income to be able to take care of us financially. There was just no way. But she didn't want to stay home with her brother while I decided to go get like a software engineering job or like a data analyst job or something. Because I could have easily made enough money for us to survive because data analyst, software engineer money, that's, you got to have a college degree. That's well-rounded money. Okay. So her and I was getting into arguments and shit about who was going to work and who wasn't. But she wanted to work. She didn't want to sit home with her brother, but somebody needed to sit home with her brother because we couldn't afford daycare at that time, right? We couldn't afford, he wasn't in school. It was in the middle of summer. She needed to sit home and watch her brother while I went to work, but she didn't want to do it. Okay. She wanted to manage this pizza place. So instead of me being like, no, fuck you and this pizza place, because the pizza place ain't gonna give you no money, I went ahead and let her do it. Just to show her that you are not going to be able to afford the cost of living. Right. And I was tired of arguing with her. So I just released it. Right. And I just let her have her way. And she got to see on her own that she was not going to be able to afford us living anywhere, especially not in the hotel. So we ended up living in the car. So as time went on and we're living in the car, I started getting like more and more and more upset at her because I was just so frustrated. And I was just getting so mad. I was stuck in this loop of us being in the car. I was getting stuck in this loop of it being her fault. I just had like all of these negative things that I was thinking. I was just so upset with her, and I was just stuck in this loop. And so one day we went to go park the car so we could sleep in the car. We set the car up so we can go to sleep. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock. So we set the car up and I'm thinking we're about to go to sleep. And she says, Ma, I have to go to the bathroom. And I said, okay, I'll drive you to the nearest Safeway. So I drive her to the nearest Safeway. I'm sitting there, an hour goes by. She doesn't come out the Safeway. Another hour goes by and I'm calling her. I'm like, are you sure you're okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Another hour goes by and she doesn't come out. So I get up and go into the Safeway. And the bathroom doors are locked. I can't go in, and I'm knocking on the door. Nobody's answering. So I go back in the car because, mind you, it's midnight. Her brother is in the car asleep. I can't leave her brother in the car while I'm worried about what she's doing in the goddamn Safeway. So I get back in the car, and I call the Safeway, and I tell the manager to go check the bathroom to see if my daughter is in there because I told her my daughter went in there like 2 or 3 hours ago and she ain't come out. And he said, I think it's somebody in there, but the door is locked. I can't just like burst in. I was like, okay. And I hung up. So I called her dad. I called my daughter's father and I said, listen, Dominique went into the Safeway and she hasn't came out. And so he calls her and he said, just give her a minute. He called me back. He said, just give her a minute. She's scared. I was like, scared of what? He said, she's scared. She's just in there having like anxiety or some shit. So I parked the car, right? Now something told me then something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm like, I got a feeling that she's not even at the Safeway anymore, that she gone. And so anyway, then I sat out all night long at the Safeway and she never came out, right? And so that next morning when the sun came up, I checked my Mac because the MacBook was attached to our phone. So if I needed to find my phone, you know how to find my phone feature where you could see where, your phone is. And I looked, she was all the way, she was like 2 hours away at this guy's house that had been too much of a problem within the past month. So she went to stay with him and left me and her brother in the car. We didn't talk for 4 months after that. June, July, August, September, October, November. No, we didn't talk for 6 months after that. And then right around Thanksgiving, she called. Like, I was calling and calling. She wasn't answering anything. I was so pissed. I was so mad about that shit. I was mad. I was so mad. Come Thanksgiving, I was still a little mad. I was mad, but I was like, it's my daughter. She young, such and such. So I started, um, seeing what was up, talking to her again and shit like that. So then um, Christmas came around. January came of this year. February came of this year. March came. April came. June came. And Chief came to California to see me. And we was talking about dating. And I was figuring out what I was going to do. And I hadn't seen my daughter. So then my daughter, for some reason, comes out of nowhere the second I start feeling a little happy. Right now, mind you, I've been miserable all this time, and then suddenly I'm a little happy. Here comes my daughter. Her and her boyfriend have got into it. She done punched this nigga in the face. Okay. So she comes to the hotel with me, and all of the money that people was donating to me in order to save to get me out of the hotel, I had to give to her in order to get her a place to live. Okay, because she didn't want to stay in the hotel room with us because the hotel room was small. So I gave her the money to help her move somewhere else, and she ends up taking the money and moves back with this dude. So I'm like, oh my god, right? I was so pissed again. And so I moved to Atlanta. She don't know I'm moving to Atlanta. We not talking or anything. We just not talking. And every time I would talk to her father about it, he would be like, you got to let this go, right? Just let it go. Just don't even worry about it. Just let it go. I was like, you're asking me to let go of my daughter. You're asking me to let go of me being pissed off at her for, doing, fucking around with this guy, leaving me and her brother in the car, then taking my money and not leaving this nigga, going back to this nigga. I was just so mad, right? And her father kept saying, you got to let it go. So right. You got to let go. And so I was like, all right. So I just started imagining my life with me moving on, but her staying with this guy that I didn't like, but how I would want it to go if we got along and if I got over it. So I imagine myself over it and them two coming to my house for the holidays or something like that. And me married and her brother being older. And, I just started imagining it being smooth, right? And her being happy. And as long as she was happy, I was okay. And I was just going to focus on my happiness and not worry about her and only think of her in the way that I wanted her to be happy, right? And I just thought about this. I think I thought about this like every time I thought about her. I did it for like a month, right? So her birthday weekend comes, and her birthday is November 11th. So her birthday weekend comes. And now, mind you, I done been, in my mind, I've been manifesting how I want things to be in my head. Okay. Her birthday comes, her birthday weekend. And our phones are connected. We on the same phone plan. So the phone gets cut off. And that's unusual for her, right? Usually she pays the phone because it's in her name. But for some reason, a week had gone by and both of our phones were still off. So I paid the phone bill and hit her up on Instagram and was like, what's happening? Like, why you not paying for the phone? And she answered. Now, mind you, no other time I've hit her up has she answered. It, any emergency, no emergency, was she answering? Nothing she was supposed to be doing, she was answering. And suddenly she answers. And I said, did your dad convince you to answer me? And she was like, no, I just had like this feeling that I should answer you. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I just felt, you know. And I said, well, give me a second. I'm going to try to pay the phone bill. Right. And I paid the phone bill that later that day. And her father was going to California to visit her for her birthday. So her father goes for the weekend. He's there and he finally makes it there. And he's with her and he calls me and basically says to me that my daughter and this guy done broke up and he's flying her back to the East Coast with him. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, they broke it up. They broke it up and I'm just going to fly her to the East Coast with me. I was like, oh my God. Like the second I started thinking about her just being happy and what I wanted her to be. And I didn't want her to be with that guy. I was hoping she was going to get another guy. And I was like, but if she stays with this guy, I'm going to try to find a way to just like him because I just want to be happy and I want her to be happy and I don't want to be mad. And I just want this to be like a better experience for everybody. And I only started thinking about that for a month and I manifested that shit. And now she on the East Coast where it ain't been back. So you can manifest what you want for your family. And me and her talk all the time now. We talk all the time. And we're not talking about, we talked about what happened for briefly. And then we move on and start talking about something else. And it's almost like it never happened. It's almost like, because I had already dealt with my feelings. I didn't hold her responsible for me dealing with my feelings about it. I dealt with the feelings. So when we talking about it, it was like a cool conversation. And I low key just manifested her coming back into my life. And you can do that with just about any person. Excuse me, anything. Anything you want, you can manifest it. Anything. Anything. I shit you not. And I'm telling you, it's been like this for my whole life. It's always been like this. I've always been able to just manifest whatever. So anyway, when you stop obsessing over it and you release a lot of stuff is when the manifestation you want comes. So you gotta consistently stop checking the flow, focus on your vibe, your life, your growth, and let the universe handle the mechanics. Let the universe do it for you. Manifestation is not a trick. It's like precision. It's like you just upgrade your reality. You say, I feel abundance. I move in clarity. I release resistance. And watch reality like accelerate towards you in the way that you want it to. That alignment moves faster than any effort you ever had. So all those months, I was sitting there calling my daughter, trying to get her to call me and pressing it, and being so angry and just mad. All those months. And the 1 month, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to imagine her the way that I want her to be. And I'm going to imagine this and smooth this out. And I'm just going to live from there. And if it happens the way that I want it to happen, okay, whatever. If it doesn't, I'm going to be okay as well. Does it matter when it's going to happen? No, just whenever it happens, it should happen. And like 30 days later, bing, what I wanted. It happened. Because at the end of the day, I just wanted her to stay away from that dude because that dude was like a creep. He was a real creep to me. I didn't like him. So I was mad she went to live with him. And so once I got over that, the situation was fixed. So you can manifest the type of relationship that you want with your family members, your friends. I got a whole bunch of stories about how I manifested certain friendships and certain things and certain people and certain situations with those people. I never tried to manifest a specific person before. Some people talk about that on social media all the time, manifesting an ex or manifesting a person to date. Um, I can manifest people and experiences with those people because they show up after I've been thinking about them a certain amount of time. Um, but I've never tried to manifest a relationship. And I was thinking about trying it to see if I can do it. But I don't know. I mean, I got so many hangups about certain things that I don't know if I can be able to manifest it. I mean, I can try, but I've manifested like regular friendships and business relationships and things like that easy. Like anybody I've ever wanted to work with, I got an opportunity to work with and I didn't even have to try. Like I would just call them into me. Like I have like this interesting energy that I don't have to stay laser focused on a person. I could just say to the universe, hey, I want to work with this person and or I want to spend some time with this person or whatever. And the universe will just make it happen for me. I've never had to like try with that. Now with love, I don't know. I'm gonna see because I am teaching how to manifest love on my Her Quantum Life channel. But because I'm so good at manifesting everything, I just never thought to manifest a husband or you know what I'm saying? I was saying I wanted to manifest a husband. Like I would post that shit on Facebook trying to be funny. So I think that's kind of why I ended up manifesting Chief, the way that I manifested Chief. But I never really tried to manifest him. You know what I mean? Because he was always easy to manifest as a friend. So, matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna see if I can. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny. I'm gonna see if I can manifest me and Chief getting back together and him being my husband. Let's see if I can do that. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it because I never tried it before. So I'm gonna try it, and I'm gonna see if I can manifest him being my husband. But I only have to think of him, and that's hard. Let me tell you why that's hard. Matter of fact, let me stop saying it's hard because I get to decide. The reason why I think manifesting love is a little harder is because it depends on the relationships that you had in the past, or it depends on what happened between you and that person. So with me and Chief, we just had something happen that was really bad, and we're like kind of in this weird space. And I don't think we're going to be in this weird space forever, but to the idea of me still marrying him, I stopped thinking like that. Like I stopped thinking he was the type of man I could marry because, you know, he lied and he cheated. So I didn't think since he did it, I stopped thinking of him as husband material. I left that out of my mind. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. That's what's gonna be next. Let's see if I can manifest that. I don't know if I'm not even gonna promise y'all that way. Like I can manifest a lot of things, but I mean I could try it because I was when he first started talking to me last year in November. I was saying I want to manifest a husband and buy me breakfast every morning, and he started doing it naturally without me even having to do it. He thought it was funny. It was funny. It was cute. And he would send me breakfast money every morning. And I did that for like, I don't know. I think I did that until I started like having feelings for him. When I started having feelings for him, I stopped posting that I wanted to manifest a husband that bought me breakfast every morning. So, okay, that's a new one. Let's do that. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do all that. I don't know. We're going to see. I don't know. That might be. I don't know. Okay, I never tried it. It's weird that I never tried it, but I tell people that they can manifest love all the time. But I think, like, let me give you what the advice I would give you. If you came to me and said, hey, Sansray, I want you to coach me and teach me how to manifest love. This is what I would tell you. Okay, person who, if you want to manifest a ex or somebody you used to date or even a new person, okay, I would tell you that love is not about like desperation. It's not about wishful thinking. It's not about settling for the first attention that you get. It's about becoming the version of yourself who naturally attracts the kind of love you deserve. Every time I talk about manifestation, I'm always going to talk about your self-concept first, upgrading your self-concept and you becoming the type of person who attracts what you want. So that thing will apply to love as well. Okay, so you got to be the person who already embodies love and respect and connection, and your energy will magnetize someone who matches it. Okay, but you got to know what you want. You got to know it clearly. You can't just say, oh, I want a man or I want a woman. You got to know what values you want. You got to know what kind of energy you want that person to have, the presence you desire in a partner, because the universe only responds with clarity. So if you on the fence, it's going to give you some on the fence type of shit. Okay. And then, of course, like I said before, when you manifest something else, you got to feel how it will feel. So you don't wait for that person to show up. You fill your life with like joy and self-respect and gratitude. And you got to love yourself first and then watch the universe mirror that back. Release any type of control. Because remember, the how and the when will get you messed up. Like you'll be trying to manifest that shit forever. Release desperation and control. Love shows up when you are aligned, not when you're forcing like the timeline to do it when you want to do it. You just got to trust that the right energy will find you. So even if I sit here and I say, I'm going to try to manifest Chief to be my husband, right? What's going to end up probably happening is whether it's him or not, I'm going to manifest a husband. The fact that I stopped trying to manifest a husband is probably why things went the way that they did with him, because I stopped trying to consciously manifest a husband. I had stopped altogether. Like I wasn't even, because I was thinking about moving to Atlanta and I was manifesting that. So my mind got off of, I knew I wanted to be married and I knew I wanted to be married to him specifically, but I stopped thinking of myself as a wife. I was thinking of myself as this woman who was moving to Atlanta to meet this guy. You know what I mean? So, if you stay aligned, I think, like if you go to the places and do the things and create the energy that naturally attracts the kind of partner that you want, if you stay aligned with that, then you get that. So I think I grew out of alignment with it. And then that's probably why we ended up happening, whatever happening, ended up happening. I think that's why. I don't know. I don't want to think about it, because if I think about that too hard, then it's going to take longer for me to manifest it, or it's not going to happen. So manifesting love is not like, it isn't a fantasy, it's strategic energy work. So when your inner world reflects the love that you want, the outer world can't help but catch up. So I think, I don't know, I can try it. I'm going to try it. Mark my words. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if I can manifest. That's gonna be hard because we've been through some shit. You know what I mean? I think, well, other manifestation coaches always say that you can manifest a specific person all the time into your life energetically. But it's not about controlling them or overriding their free will. And I think a lot of people think you can't override their free will. But like I said before, in the cloud, right, in the 5D, it's different versions of you, just like it's different versions of the people that you are with. When I manifested my daughter coming back into my life, all I did was manifest a different version of her. It doesn't mean the other version of her that's still with that dude is not in the 5D. It means I selected a reality of her that's no longer with him. And I get to perceive that. I get to experience that because I manifested that. I put that in the 4D, and then the 4D projected it into 3D. The 4D is my imagination, right? So the cloud is the quantum field, the 5D, basically, and it has all of the realities and versions of people that are all happening at one time. And then you use your 4D to select the reality from the 5D and crystallize it into your current circumstances, which is the 3D. So when I say, oh, I'm trying to manifest Chief as my husband, I'm not going to, if I do this, oh my God, I can't believe I'm even thinking, I can't even believe I'm talking like this. I can't even believe I'm saying this shit. If I wanted to manifest a version of Chief to be my husband, I would just go into 5D, into the cloud, pick the reality I wanted of him being my husband, and then use my 4D to keep practicing me being his wife over and over and over and over again in my mind. and not waver from that and just keep practicing and practicing and practicing and persistent and persistent and persistent and building that muscle, just like I tell you with the analogy of going to the gym. Okay. So it wouldn't be me overriding his free will. I would just no longer match with the version of him that I'm currently experiencing in my circumstances. He would just dissolve out of my life experience, out of my perception in general. And then the new version of him would just, populate while the other one is dissolving. And it might take some time. I don't know. How long have we been working out? We've been working out 3 months, I think. I'm going to try it. We're going to see. I don't know, but it's about shifting your frequency so the universe aligns the circumstances where that person can actually show up naturally. So by the time I do it, I probably will be in the identity of being his wife so much that by the time he comes around, it'll feel so natural that I won't even feel like he's manifesting me. That's usually what ends up happening with my manifestations. They just happen so much that it feels so natural that I don't be like, oh my God, I manifested something. It doesn't feel like that. Regardless to whether it's a big or a small thing, it comes so naturally and so smoothly because I already have been practicing it in my head. So by the time it hit my circumstances, it's so real already that I was already expecting it to happen any fucking way. So it feels so naturally. But I've never tried to manifest a specific person before. I've never thought, hey, I'm going to manifest this particular person to be my husband right now. I've never done that. I know people that have. Plenty of people talk about that, but I have never said no shit like that. I've never even tried. So I'm gonna try it and see what happens. But if you want to manifest a specific person, or you want to manifest an ex, and this is usually what I'm going to start talking about on my Her Quantum Life channel, not this channel, because this is going to just be about manifesting life and just money and shit like that, not love. Love is going to be over there. But if you was to come to me and you was my client and you asked me, how could you manifest a specific person or somebody that you love? I would say, focus on the version of you who deserves and holds that love. You have to upgrade your self-concept, pick your identity, and when your energy matches the love you want, you naturally attract the relationship that reflects that. So visualize how it feels, not just who it is. Instead of obsessing over their exact appearance or their behaviors or the timeline or the feel of the connection, joy, the respect, and intimacy, do that as if it's already happening. You know what I mean? Don't obsess over their appearance or behaviors. Feel the connection, the joy, the respect, and the intimacy as if it's already happening. Because the emotion is the magnetic code. So let me put it back on me. If I was to be trying to manifest Chief to be my husband, right? I will only think of the connection, the joy, the respect, and the intimacy we had, maybe the friendship we had, the inside jokes that we had, the conversations that we had, the places that we might have wanted to travel to. I used to talk to him about how I wanted him to propose all of the time. I told him I wanted us to get married on the beach. Oh, I could talk. Okay, I could talk about the stuff I used to think about. I can try to manifest those things. I can think about those visualizations. Because when we was together, I had natural visualizations, but it wasn't me intentionally trying to manifest them. So this is what kind of wedding I would have wanted to have if I was marrying Chief. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the wedding was. So I always told him I wanted us to get married in Jacksonville because I really, really love the beach, right? He loves the beach too. So I was like, I want us to get married on the beach. Now, the way I want this wedding to look, I wanted us both to be barefoot, right? He's wearing linen. I want you to imagine yourself there. You my guest. All right, you the guest at my wedding. And it's on the beach near sunset, right? But it's not a straight altar. It's like a dual entry altar where it's chairs on each side, like a circle, like we'll be standing in the middle, and it's people on both sides of us. Okay, so everyone is seeing us equally. It's not like a regular how you walk down the aisle and it's only one way to get down the aisle. This particular aisle has two entrances. Okay, so it's making kind of like a circle. It's chairs on the right side of us. It's chairs on the left side of us. Okay, and the sun is setting. Okay, but the weather is perfect outside. It's like not too warm. It's not too cold. It's like a breeze. right? A little tiny breeze. It feels perfect out there. And he's in linen, no shoes. Okay. I don't have on any shoes either, but I'm dressed in this beautiful dress, but I have on a mermaid braid. And inside of my mermaid braid are like shells and starfish and things like that, because we both like the ocean, we both like the sea. So inside of my hair is, like little seashell, little decorations inside the mermaid braid. Okay. If you don't know what a mermaid braid is, it's like just a big braid with like, it's kind of sloppy a little bit. And the dress I'm wearing is mermaid style, where it's like flares out at the bottom, like how fish flare out at the bottom. It's like that. Okay. I look beautiful, of course. I look beautiful, of course. And then we say our vows, but it's actually fun. It's funny. Like we find a way to laugh, because when I imagined during that time, when I was imagining us in my head, I always saw us extremely happy and laughing all of the time. That's how I always pictured he and I in my head. And so the ceremony is funny. And then after that, we still end up staying in that same place, because remember, the chairs were set up on the left side of us and on the right side of us, but the tables were with them too. Okay, so we don't just um, go sit somewhere else to eat. We have our reception in the same place that we took the vows at. But it started to be nighttime, so we have a bonfire somewhere, and the music is on, and we're dancing and we're having a good time and we're drinking and we're laughing and we're blah blah blah, right? But we're just in Jacksonville, so eventually we have to go on our honeymoon to somewhere. Now I want to go to Maldives, right? I don't know where he would want to go, because I never even got that far ahead in the in the imagination, in the visualization. The last thought I had in the visualization, he and I was like leaning on a bar, on like a wooden, kind of like a tiki. I want to say like a tiki, but it's not a tiki. It's just the bar of the whatever resort we are at, because clearly we're having the wedding on the beach, but a resort is right there, like a hotel or something is right there. And anyway, he and I are talking, and we're leaning on this tiki thingy, and people are snapping pictures, and it's nighttime, and it's fire, and it's entertainment out there, and it's music out there, and everybody's having a good ass time. That's how I imagine our wedding. But I didn't have any details. I just was thinking that in my head. But that visualization, right, will probably happen to me if I keep thinking about it without me having like these fears. But visualizing how it feels, not just who it is, and instead of obsessing over it being him specifically, his behaviors, or the timeline when it'll happen, you just got to focus on the connection, the joy, the respect, the intimacy, as if it's already happening. And anytime I had this visualization in my head, I focused on how it made me feel. So I'll be seeing it in my visualization, but how does it make me feel being that is what I focused on during that time. And I haven't thought about my wedding with him and like, oh my God, it's been, oh my Lord. I think I thought about it. I think the last time I thought about it was like before Halloween. That was the last time I visualized our wedding in our head, in my head, because we have broke things off in September. So that was the last time I thought about it. But you have to release the attachment to outcome. So wanting a specific person but being desperate or controlling creates like this energetic resistance. So you have to let go while staying aligned to the vision that you want, because the universe is only going to give you someone who's aligned. Orca, okay. The universe is only going to give you someone who's aligned with that vision. So he may not even be the man that I'm aligned with by the time that comes into fruition. But at the same time, it's just like I'm only choosing the version of him who is aligned in the 5D. Remember, it's a cloud. it's plenty different versions of him up there. There's plenty different versions of me up there. And I remember I used to tell him when we were dating, like if I was mad at him, I would be like, I don't like the version of us right now. I used to tell her that shit. I don't like the version of us that we're being right now. I want to switch to another version. And sometimes we would end up switching. Like we would go, I would imagine him differently. And then we would go like maybe a week or so of talking. And we wouldn't talk. And then the next week he'd be exactly how I wanted him to be. So I have manifested Chief being how I wanted him to be before. I've manifested the version of him that I wanted before. But I think the problem with me is I be going in and out of those realities, and I'll just start getting like fears and have resistance to some degree. So I end up manifesting a version of him that I don't want to deal with, or selecting a reality by accident that I don't want to deal with. Because remember, whether you are intentionally manifesting or consciously manifesting or not, you're consistently manifesting all the time. Everybody does it. No one is exempt from manifesting shit. Y'all manifest that shit every day. So sometimes if I get mad at him, or I don't know, something that happened and I respond to the 3D in a way I shouldn't, I end up having like an experience with him that I don't want to have. So I think that that's probably what ended up happening when we broke things off 3 months ago. And I haven't really thought of it like that. Like this is actually my first time thinking about it, because this was my first time thinking maybe I should try to manifest him, right? Since I'm telling everybody about all this manifesting. But I always hear people talking about manifesting specific persons all the time. And I've never even tried that shit. Like I never tried it to manifest him into being something other than my homie, like my friend. You know what I mean? So if you came to me and you said you want to manifest a specific person, I will also tell you to stay open to the possibilities, because sometimes the universe delivers your specific person, but sometimes it delivers someone even better who fits your upgraded frequency. And both are a win. So if I do end up having this beach wedding in Jacksonville, whoever I'm aligned with at that time, whatever frequency I'm on, whoever's there will be the man that I marry. It might not even be Chief, but Chief, it could just be the catalyst of the wedding. But I just don't understand how I could. Here's another thing. I don't understand how I could manifest a wedding so specific that is orbiting around both he and I, but it not be him. You know what I mean? Like, to me, manifesting is so specific and people are so powerful. I just don't understand why the universe would even manifest another person. So you know what I'm saying? But I hear people say sometimes it manifests a better person. So it could manifest. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it too hard. I'm just gonna only think of how it would make me feel if I were to get married on the beach. But I also have to clean up how I feel, because I have like all of these negative feelings about when I was with him last. But then again, the version of him that I'm trying to manifest from the 5D is not the version of him that I experienced. Okay, so that clears that up. Anyway, so you gotta take a line action. Like I said before when I was talking about the other manifestations, you don't just meditate and wait. You show up in the places and conversations and energy where love can manifest at. So your aligned steps are the bridge between the vision and the reality. So manifesting a specific person is just about alignment, like it is with everything else. It's about alignment, clarity, and vibration, not being obsessed with it. So when you focus on the energy of the relationship, you make the universe your partner, not a puppet master. So you're not controlling a person. You're not taking away their or overriding their free will. What you're doing is going into the 5D where there's multiple realities, where there's multiple versions of people, and you're picking the reality that you want to experience. And when you do that and you focus on that in the 4D, what ends up happening in your 3D circumstances is your 3D circumstances start to dissolve, and the older version of that person that you may have dealt with previously is no longer there, because you are now turning into a completely different person. Now, remember what I said about the demolition project, that it'll knock everything down first before it starts building you into this new person, and that old version of you will fight for their life to stay around. Right? And it will see you trying to be different, do different, improve, or whatever, because you have this version of yourself in your mind who is with your specific person, and you're married to this person, or you're doing all of these activities with someone you've never done before. The older version of you starts like spewing out fears and doubts and all types of shit. So all you got to do is, once you experience those feelings, just realize, oh, it's just a feeling. No, that's the old version trying to, fight for his life. But I'm trying to do something new in my life. So those old habits need to go. It's the same thing if you were trying to stop smoking, or if you stop trying to eat honey buns, or if you was to stop trying to be addicted to some shit that you're always doing, and you need to take that bad habit. You need to stop the bad habit. So manifesting, I think, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. Like I'm gonna see. I don't know, because I just feel like manifesting people. It's not hard. It's just when I just told y'all I'm manifesting my daughter, and it took me a month. So I can manifest a person. I just never tried to manifest an ex or somebody I had a bad situation with, or somebody that I had an argument with, that was this bad. So I don't know if I could manifest a better version of him. I know I can think about it. I know I can try, but I don't mean I'm gonna be able to do that. Like I don't know, but I guess that doubt right there, it will make it to where I can. Like I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna answer an email. I'm supposed to be getting donations. I ain't even talk about that. Did I talk about donations yet? I did talk about donations before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Okay, so on this page, donations aren't random. They're part of the culture. It's how it works. It's how it works. I show up, I give, I teach, I break things down, I analyze situations. Of course, I tell my stories, I entertain, I joke, I heal, I encourage, I inspire, I uplift, and I give value. And then I ask for your support like I'm about to do now. Please cash at me $10 if you can to $for Somo. Cash App is now my partnership. I have a partnership with them, a sponsor partnership. I'm a brand ambassador. That is how it's going to work on my channel. That is the culture now. That's how the economy works here. I'm aiming for $500 today because that's just my goal for every day. I was like, if I'm going to dream, bitch, I'm going to dream big. You feel what I'm talking about? Anyway, I know how we can do it because I've manifested $500 before. I know we can do it because I've seen you all show up for me before. People donate when they feel included, value, and part of something meaningful. Like their contribution matters, and it does. Like you're helping me build something bigger every day. Supporters support, spectators spectate, trolls troll. The money always comes from people who support me. So I only talk to people who support me. Of course, never the spectators, never the judgmental strangers. Y'all can be here, but trust me, my lips are not moving for you. Okay. I ask for support because I give value, and think about it. Everybody's always asking you for money. I know this all the time. Starbucks asks, Amazon asks, Netflix asks, because they're businesses, and me being a content creator is a business. This is a business. If you don't want to donate to me, I got products and services that you can also buy. But this is a business. Don't take it personal. It's baked into the culture here. So if you're ready to support me and be a part of this, you can donate via Cash App to my brand partner. They're my brand partner, and it's $for Somo. I appreciate it. Every donation counts. It always has, and I appreciate everybody that has always looked out for me and my son. Okay. So all right. People do have real doubts about manifesting a specific person. People worry if they're being delusional. Like I probably sound delusional earlier when I was explaining our beach wedding, but visualizing a text message and think, is this cute or am I losing my mind in 4K? That doubt hits when reality looks dry and quiet. A lot of people fear they're forcing something unnatural. Am I spiritually kidnapping a person? They worry they're crossing the energetic line or trying to puppet someone. That's not what you're doing when you're trying to manifest a specific person. They think the other person has moved on too fast. Like seeing the person with someone new makes them feel like their manifestation power got revoked or something, but that's not the case. They start asking, is it too late, or if the universe has already closed the file? And that's not the case. They start questioning timing and divine order and things like that. Like, what if I'm interrupting something, or what if this isn't meant to be? These doubts starts creeping in their mind when they can't control the calendar. People worry about their worth because they feel like manifesting a specific person is like this big thing. And under every question about that person is like the whisper of, am I really the one that someone would choose? So their insecurities is there. I don't have that. All of those things I just listed, I don't have a problem with none of that. I think my problem, I think I already explained what my problem would be with manifesting a specific person is if we had some negative experiences. But it's not that I don't trust my own energy, because there's some people out there that don't trust their own energies. Like, people wonder if they're doing it wrong, visualizing wrong, believing wrong, vibrating wrong. They treat their manifestation like it's a user manual that they lost or something. Some people are feared of rejection, even imagination. It's like, it's your imagination. You can't be rejected in your own imagination. Like, it's your 5D, which is a cloud where all of your versions of reality are there. And then the 4D is your imagination. If you are rejecting yourself and not thinking in your own favor in your imagination, there's something wrong with you. Some people can't picture the person choosing them because rejection lives rent free in their nervous system. You got to do something about that. The nervous system, now, this is what I have an issue with, because a lot of times when I hear manifestation coaches talk about manifesting money or anything, they're always talking about, oh, the nervous system won't let you do this and the nervous system won't let you do that. And the consciousness, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, y'all don't understand that your nervous system is part of your body, not your spirit. That's your body doing something. And you giving your body too much control over 4D and 5D. Your body has nothing to do with 4D and 5D. You can't apply logic to some. This is not about logic. Like, logic is something that happens in 3D and physical, like, just like time. Time, the illusion of logic and the illusion of time only happen in 3D and current circumstances. It doesn't happen in the 5D when you're selecting a reality. It doesn't happen in the 4D when you are imagining which reality that you want to crystallize. None of that is there. The illusion of time and logic is something that happens with circumstances and what you are experiencing in your 3D. 3D has no power. 3D is just a playback. So in the playback, logic happens. In the playback, time happens. Everything else, it does not. It has no power. So anyway, most of the doubts are not spiritual problems. They're self-concept problems, and the specific person is just the stage. So the real story is about identity, about your worth, about confidence and emotional safety. And the only way that you'll be like scared to manifest a person is if you feel like that person is somehow bigger than you, or you have this person on a pedestal. I don't pedestal any guy. Like, I don't look at the last guy I dated and think to myself, oh, he's like this phenomenal guy I can never get. I already got him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was never in a position to where, oh, I wanted someone who didn't want me. You know what I mean? I never think that way. I think every desire I have desires me. So it's never, I was never put in a position to where I felt like I couldn't get a guy, even if we were like broken up. Every ex I have, right? I still to this day know for damn certain, if I was standing directly in front of their ass and we had a little conversation and sat down and talked, they give me a chance all over again. Every single one. Not listen to me. Every and that's the level of confidence I have. I don't look at men as if they are superior. And I think that'd be the main problem with people. Their self-concept or their identity makes them believe that they're lower than these people. You know what I'm saying? And no one is lower than you. Like, everybody is you projected out. Everybody is a mirror of you. So technically, they are you. Every experience that you are having with them, you are experiencing a version of you in them. So when you see them come into your life, just understand, oh, the experience that you're about to have with them is basically just a version of you about to sit down and talk to you. Okay, that really is all it is at the end of the day. And since they're a mirror, if you would like to change your experience with them for it to be a little bit more positive, you don't change the mirror, you don't change them, you don't go out to them and say, hey, be different. You change your perspective. You go into your 5D and pick a version of them from the 5D, and then you use your 4D, which is your mind, to imagine them being that shit and what it will feel like for you to be a person that is with the person that is doing the things that you want to experience. No, it's good. And then just keep doing it persistent, practice, persist. Just like I said, when I use the gym analogy, go to the gym, you keep working out, eventually you're going to be muscular. Eventually. You know, so anything that you want in life, eventually you're going to get it if you keep practicing and persistent. So eventually you just experience it, and you experience it so naturally too. And I'm saying this from experience. I'm not telling you this out of my ass. I'm not saying this magical way that I hope that this happens to me. No, this has happened in my life over and over and over with everything, with just about everything in my life, good, bad, all of it. So I'm not just saying, do this and this will happen because I heard it'll happen that way. No, I'm telling you some shit that's happened in my life. Okay. But one thing I do, that's so important when it comes to manifestation that you should never think about. Never question the timing and divine order. Don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it. Just let it do it on its own. I promise you it'll do it. I know in 3D you got like deadlines, you got stuff that you want to pay at a certain time, blah, 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 but don't stress about it. Just always think, oh, I'm going to have time. It's going to work out. Everything going to be okay. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. All right. Don't worry about the 3D. Okay. 3D is like your current circumstances. Let me see if I can explain why you should worry about 3D, because I want to be very clear why 3D is not something that you should let stress you out. It's basically like a report. I see. Nice. Beautiful. It's like a report. It's like showing you where your head at. Okay. It's like a current snapshot of like yesterday's thought process. So it's like calculations. It's like projections. Projections of some shit that happened yesterday. So you can't stare at it because it's a lagging indicator. It's a receipt, basically. A receipt of some shit that you already paid for. So you have no control over your current circumstances right now. You only got control over what's going to happen next. So when you stare at the 3D nonstop, which is your current circumstances, you start negotiating with your current you start negotiating with your current circumstances. You start panicking because it hasn't updated yet in front of you. You start thinking your manifestation failed because your circumstances haven't caught up to your frequency yet. This is all about frequency. That's the reason why you're using your mind, using 4D to begin with, because you have to get on the right frequency. You have to get on the frequency to be able to experience what you want. So it's like refreshing a website and it's still loading. And then instead of you waiting for it to finish loading, you're like, you know what? The internet broken. I can't, this manifestation don't work. No, you just have to wait for it to finish loading. Like 3D is not your master, it's feedback. It's showing you feedback. It's your imagination is the blueprint. Your self-concept is the software. Your emotions are the electricity that push that software. The 3D is just the screen. It's just a projection. It's what you see after. So people who focus only on the 3D get trapped in the reaction mode. They let today's circumstances decide tomorrow's belief, and you can't do that.
For the red trip?
Okay, I don't know what you mean with red trip. I don't know what you mean. They let today's circumstances decide tomorrow's beliefs, and that's backwards. You're supposed to decide internally first and then let the world realign around you. So you don't necessarily ignore 3D. You just don't worship that shit. You just look at the report and be like, oh shit, this is some shit I thought of yesterday. What do I want to improve about my current circumstances? And then you do what you need to do with your mind and change those circumstances. You move from vision, not evidence. You move from your identity, not your reactions to your current circumstance. You move from knowing, not checking your current circumstance. And when you live like that, the 3D has no choice but to catch up with everything that you want to do. I don't care what it is that I wanted to do in the past, whether I wanted to write a book, whether I wanted to get a new car, whether I wanted to move somewhere, whether I wanted to, whatever, it didn't matter. Outfits, shoes, clothes, whatever it is I wanted, I always got. To some degree, I always got. And there's nothing that I can say didn't move out the way for me. Like, say for instance, if I wanted something by a certain time, right? Let's say today I want money for my room, right? And I haven't been asking for money for my room. I wasn't gonna worry about it, but I do need money for my room. But I'm just gonna try to get as much money throughout the day to see if I can get donations throughout the day, because I do want to be able to pay for it. I'm not even that far behind. I caught up. I think I'm like $30 behind, because I think the other day I was like $7 behind or something. But anyway, so there have been times where I wanted money for the room at a certain time, right? And when that certain time would come, something would happen to where the universe was like moving shit out of the way and making me more time. Like, I'll go to the front desk and go to tell them, hey, I don't have all the money for the room. And they would be like, oh, I'll sit them down anyway. You can't pay for it. No goddamn way. And then 3 hours would go by, and by the time that 3 hours go by, I would have enough money for my room, and then I could go pay for it. It's shit like that. Like when I tell the universe, I try not to worry about time, but when I tell the universe that I need it to give me something at a certain time, or else something's gonna happen, it'll move shit out of the way for me. And it's done. It'll always be something that stops it, from happening in a way that you silly. This is my joint.
Something like the Sabbath.
Why do you like that so much? Oh, my son funny as shit. Hold on, wait. He loved his song. You would have to be watching the Disney Channel to know. So there's this Christmas song that comes on every Christmas, and it's from this the Descendants movie, and it's this girl, her name Red, and she comes out and she sings this Christmas song. So he came over here singing the Christmas song. It's so funny. Anyway, the universe is very flexible. Is basically what I want to say. So anyway,
So cute.
no one has any questions. I'm surprised ain't nobody in my chat. Like, where's everybody? Like, this is the first time I ever did a live stream and nobody said anything. Usually it'd be somebody here saying something, like Mr. said something, Mr. Sanchez said something. But outside of that, it's like, stop licking my foot. Don't lick my feet. Usually people be in here saying something by now. I'm surprised y'all ain't in here saying some shit. You know what I mean? Saying something crazy. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I can't wait till this cold go away. I think it's just cold. I don't know what it is, but I just been coughing like crazy. I've been coughing like crazy trying to just, I don't know, take a whole bunch of Ricolas and shit. No one has any questions about manifestation? Y'all ready for me to log off and be done? Because nobody have any questions? Oh, you got a question. Okay. What are you describing as far as things working in your favor? I usually attribute my luck to my guardian angels, like my deceased father, my deceased mom, or grandparents. How you perceive your luck is still your choice. You get to choose how you perceive it. You get to choose if that's what makes you feel better. To feel like they are the ones that's giving you your luck, then if that's what's working, do that shit. But when I say always think of your favor, I'm saying in your own head instead of saying something negative about your experience. Like, say for instance, people would be like, I'll never have any luck. Nothing good ever happens to me. Like, here we go with the same bullshit all over again. I knew it was going to be something. It's always something, right? When you say shit like that, then it's always going to be that. You always want to not have favor. So if you're saying you have favor, and usually when you have favor, it has something to do with your guardian angels or your deceased father or your deceased mom and grandparents, then that's what it is. But you get to decide. That's how much power you have. You get to decide. As long as you're not saying that you don't have favor, you good. You're going to get more favor because you're saying you have favor. You know what I mean? If someone does not want to be with you, but you attempt to manifest them, what happens in your opinion? If somebody don't want to be with you, right? And I thought I explained that just now when I was talking about Chief. Because I don't know what he wants. I didn't even think of him. Because see, when we broke things off, it was me who broke things off. And I think to some degree, he kind of knew I was going to do that because we had been talking about it. So I think to some degree, he and I still want each other, but in a different way. Anyway, let's say Chief was trying to manifest me and I didn't want him. But he like, you know what? I'm Sasare's husband. I love her. I want to be with her. I don't care what the fuck she talking about. I want to be with her. All he would have to do is go into the 5D, which is his cloud, because everybody got a different cloud. Everybody got their own different reality. Everybody got their own 5D cloud that has a series of unlimited realities that they can sift through with unlimited versions of themselves and other people in it. So all Chief will have to go to do is in his reality, right? His 5D realities, his quantum field. He would pick the reality where there is a version of Sansaray that loves him, that wants to be his wife. Okay? The highest version of her that he can find. The version of her that has everything he wants in a wife. Okay, he already likes her, but he might tweak it a little bit, like he want extra Sansaray. Okay. All you have to do is go to the 5D cloud, pick it, then use his 4D, which is his imagination. All right. To practice him being the husband that actually has the experience of being with that version of Sansaray. It doesn't matter that there is a version of Sansaray that does not want him, because that's not the version of him the version of Sansaray he's trying to experience. He's trying to experience the version of Sansaray that does want him. That's the version of reality he picked. So in order to get on the frequency of that version of reality, he has to use his 4D, which is his imagination, to practice and visualize so he can get on the frequency. Now, I don't know if you was a part of the live stream when I was talking about how I get on different frequencies. I just go onto YouTube and look for the frequency. So if I'm sad, I go on YouTube and be like, find me a grief frequency to help me feel better. And then I listen to the frequency and I feel better. Because technically it's a happiness frequency. If I want harmony with my experiences with other people, I go into YouTube and I find a harmony frequency and I listen to it. And I get on the frequency of harmony. Next thing you know, all day long, I'm in harmony with everybody because I'm on that frequency. So if Chief wanted to manifest a version of Sansaray who was his wife and loved him very much, and she was everything that he wanted, the version of me that don't want him don't even matter, because that version of me will dissolve when he becomes the identity associated with the husband who is married to that version of Sansaray. That reality of Sansaray not wanting him is gone. It's dissolving. Yeah, people have very negative thoughts, and that's the main reason why they don't manifest the shit that they want. I promise you. How would that manifest in this frequency? I get you can imagine anything, but how would that translate to the reality of this world? You confused. Okay. There's one world, right? But in one world, there are different realities in this one world. Put it like this. Let me see if I can use social media as you know how every content creator, right? We all got our own community of people who are around us. Okay. Matter of fact, you know how what computer networking is like? You know how a network of computers work? How there'll be like this main computer and all those computers around that computer talk to that computer, but it's a network of computers. If you understand that concept, then you'll be able to understand what I'm about to say. Okay. So there's one world, right? But in that one world, there are multiple realities. All right. Each person has their own set of multiple realities, own set of network of realities, just like a network of computers that can control other computers. But you would have to understand computer networking for that to be able to understand it. Because you can connect 4 different computers together, and each one of those computers have 5 other computers that listen to that one computer. And the computers that talk to each other, it'll be 4 main computers that talk to each other. But out of those 4 main computers are 5 computers that only talk to each computer. So you got 5, 10, 15, 20. You got 20 computers talking to each other, but 5 computers only talk to one computer at a time. And then those 4 computers talk to each other. Do you understand computer network? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that can get complicated too. But that's how the realities work. So when we're talking about, you're saying this frequency as if the frequency that you're talking about is the only frequency that there is. Okay. And you say, how does it translate to the reality of this world? It translates through you. Like you, all right, I'm going to explain in a way you can understand. Let me see if I can find an analogy. Hold on, give me a second. Let me think. How you perceive reality, right, is up to you. How you perceive what you are experiencing is up to you. Okay, so when you say the reality of this world, that's a very flexible thing. There's no solid way because each person has a different perspective at how they see reality. We all see it differently. No, none of us see it the same. Even if we might agree on something, we still have a different perspective. Just like how I was saying earlier, how no one has the same fingerprint. Everybody got a different fingerprint. It's the same way with perception of reality. So yeah, there's one world, but everybody is viewing this world in their own way. When you get on a specific frequency, you manifest whatever's on that frequency. So if I want to pick a specific type of reality that I want to perceive in a certain type of way, it doesn't matter what everybody else is perceiving because I'm never going to see it how everybody else perceives it. People could try to get me to think the way that they want me to think, but at the end of the day, the only person I am seeing and perceiving is me through the lens of my own perception. Just like you are seeing everything in this world through you and your own perception. You ever seen like 3 people tell a story and they tell a story in 3 different ways, but it's the same story? Because they see it in 3 different ways. They might be on the same frequency, but they perceived it 3 different ways. Do you get what I mean? Because it's complicated. It's a complicated thing. Like to view the world how it really is, you have to understand that the way that you see stuff, somebody else sees it in a completely different way. And y'all be looking at the same shit. The reason why y'all look at it in 2 completely different ways is because you 2 have had 2 different life experiences. Because the way that we see the world, the way that we perceive the world has to do with everything that we have experienced up to this point. We don't see everything the same. We never will. We're not supposed to. We're not built that way. So if we want to experience each other, like say you want to experience a version of someone, all you got to do is go to the quantum field where all of the realities are at and pick one that you want to perceive, that you want to experience, and it'll project out into your reality. Yeah, like go look up, start studying neuroscience so you can understand that everything that we are experiencing is 90% of our perception. It's not like what you thinking is real. It's not, it's just a tangible, it's almost like an illusion. Okay, it is an illusion. Right? I just don't want to scare you. I need you to open your mind. Okay. You are observing your life. You're observer. You're seeing it. You are separate from it. You know how you have your mind, your body, your soul. To some degree, you can feel the separation. Like you can control your mind. You're not your mind. You're not your body. You can tell there's a difference. So with your brain, right? You can program your brain to think whatever you want it to think. If you keep the habitual thoughts, it'll turn into a belief. So your belief systems is what controls your self-concept and your identity. And once you have your identity and self-concept in control, you start perceiving life through that identity. So if you want to be a millionaire, you start thinking of yourself as a millionaire, and you just keep thinking that shit, your life is gonna put you in a position to that's where you at, because that's how you perceive reality. And everybody perceives reality differently. And if you want other people to view you how you view you, all you got to do is go into the 5D and select the version of those people that you want to view you in that way. Because the only person in your reality is you. It's nobody else there. You just think we have control in your reality. No one has control in your reality. I'm perceiving that yes, you are perceiving that you're listening to me right now in whatever way. Like, regardless to how I tell this to you, you're going to perceive it how you want to perceive it. I don't have no control over how I'm talking to you. If that person says you're not listening to her, y'all both right. Because in her and whoever's saying that, their perception of this is you're not listening. You know what I mean? You ever been, okay, wait a minute, baby. You ever been like on social media and everybody's having like this group conversation, and then it's like this one person who doesn't understand shit, and you're like, clearly you're not listening to this person, because because if you was listening to this person, you would understand what this person is saying. You ever got into one of those little arguments, and it's always that one person that don't fucking get it? You know what I mean? It's because that person's perception of reality won't allow them to pick up on what you are perceiving. You are perceiving everything around you the way you want to perceive it. So if you changed your mind and you said, next time I come into Salsa Ray's live stream, I want 300 people to be in here, and I want us all to be talking about perception of reality. And you keep thinking that in your head, I promise you the universe is going to show you that, whether I want it or not. Whether my present reality or my perception or my eyes are on it or not doesn't matter, because the only person in your reality is you. So you see life how you want to see it. But people don't think that. They allow other people outside of them to control how they view the world. It's a mind fuck. They have no control over what you see, what you do, where you go, your perception, because your brain, if you knew anything about neuroscience and quantum mechanics, you would know that the way that the brain works is just perception. Because the quantum field is kind of like emptiness. I want to say, I want to be able to explain that better. So I'm not going to explain that further until I can find better analogies to explain that shit, because that shit is a whole other level. What are you saying? That's not what you meant? Did I answer? Get down, get down. Did I answer what you meant and then move on to another topic that didn't have anything to do with what you said? Because I did change the subject. Yes, that's why eyewitness testimony is unreliable, because people could be looking at the same thing and have a different perspective of it. I remember Chief used to be like, Chief used to always be like, he used to be like, people, what do you say about the truth? He was like, people got different perspectives about, people believe different things about the truth. He was like, people got different perspectives about the truth. And when he used to say it, I used to be like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I wanted to know what he was talking about specifically, but I got the gist of what he was saying. I agree. But at the same time, it's like people rely too much on other people's truths to determine what happens in their life. And once you do that, you give everybody control over your life. I remember one time me and my mother and my sister was talking. And my mother was like, she said something, because they was talking about how much confidence I have in myself. And my little sister was like, you always act like you royalty. You it's like you think you a queen when you not. You think you a queen. And I said, who the fuck are you to tell me I'm not a queen? Like, who are you in my world to be able to define whether or not I'm a queen. You see what I mean? So what would that make you if you was in a position to be able to determine whether or not I was a queen? Who are you? You see what I'm saying? No one can control your self concept but you. No one can control your reality but you. No one can control how you perceive reality but you. No one can control your beliefs but you. No one, no one. But people believe that life experience is more solid than what it is. They're looking at it, they don't realize that this is a playback. They think this is happening right now. But the only thing that's happening right now is in your mind. Like, think about, listen, the only thing that's happening right now is what you're thinking. Future is not here yet. The past gone. Every time you think about the past, it's in your head. Every time you think about the future, it's in your head. Every time you thinking about right now, it's in your head. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's nowhere, it's nothing else. Nothing else is but you in your head. But people don't think of it like that. Anytime you think about your past, it's a memory. So you get to decide how that memory makes you feel. You can revise that memory so it can make you feel better. When you think about the future, it's in your head. It's not happening right now. So you can think about it how you want to think about it. But a lot of people think about their future and think about it negatively. And then when they're having this negative life experience because the playback that happened, they're like, oh, my life ain't never gonna get better. Of course it's not, because you keep saying it's not gonna get better. You keep thinking it's not gonna get better. Your future thoughts are never better. So you get stuck there. That's all I keep trying to explain to people. Like, the way that life is ain't what you think at all. Like, and once you get the knowledge, like, people be like, how are you so wise? I asked. I said that's who I am. I started really young. When I was like, I don't know, in college, I started studying theology, right? And I had made up in my mind in college that I was just going to be this wise person that knew everything about the universe. I knew everything about quantum mechanics and metaphysics. I knew everything about theology, spirituality, religion. I had made up my mind when I was young. So now I'm 45. I know so much information that I wasn't sharing all this time on social media, right? So now I'm starting to share it. And people are like, oh my God, I didn't know you was smart. This smart. I knew you was smart. I just didn't know you was that smart. It's because I never showed anybody. I never told anybody because I was hiding the nerd and geek in me. I was being the what I perceived everybody else wanted me to be instead of being who I wanted to be comfortably and understanding that whatever I wanted to experience in life, if I wanted people to listen to what I was saying and trust that I was saying, all I had to do was pick the version of me where people are listening to everything I'm saying and trusting what I'm saying. And be confident in that and stay the fuck there. That's all I had to do. I'm definitely queen of my castle, right? But I'm extremely humble outside of my home, right? Because that's what you want to be. I think a true queen is humble with quiet strength, right? So that's your definition of queen. Now, there are other queens out there. Do you think every queen thinks like you? Probably not, right? Probably not. But whatever that queen thinks of herself makes her feel good about her. So it works for her. Like, there's no general consensus on how we should act. There's no set of rules, right, associated with life that we have to follow that will get everybody the same results. Because all of us are so different. We're all walking different walks of life. We're like different fingerprints. The only things that actually we can follow that actually will never be able to change aren't human laws. They're like scientific laws, like gravity. No one can escape gravity, no matter if you think you're a queen who is humble or not. If you fall off of a cliff, you're gonna hit the fucking ground. And gravity doesn't care whether you're a nice person, mean person, confident person. It doesn't matter. Those are the only things that's law. So when we're talking about quantum mechanics and metaphysics, those are laws I'm talking to you about. Metaphysics is philosophy, but quantum mechanics, when I talk to you about the quantum field where there's like 5D, the quantum field is real. That's not something me telling, that's not a philosophy or something that I'm making up. It's a real place. And this is what our brains do in order to create reality. That's why I'm teaching it to you. So you can understand how your brain creates your life experience, independent of metaphysics. In quantum mechanics, the way that, let me see if I can find another analogy, because I'm trying to find good analogy so it can stick with you. Um, let me see. Because I told y'all it's like a, let me see. I told you it's like a cloud, right? Um, so let me see. Let me think. When when a quantum physicist, right, or a scientist that's into quantum mechanics, they don't use the term 3D, 4D, and 5D like I do. Okay, because 3D, 4D, and 5D is our terminology that manifestation teachers teach. The way that physics talks about dimensions is in a more mathematical sense, not in the spiritual levels of like with using dimensions. So when I'm talking to you guys about quantum mechanics, metaphysics, spirituality, and religion, I'm talking about three different mental frameworks. And if you apply these three mental frameworks to your life will improve. So 3D in physics is the three dimensions of space. So that's length, that's width, that's height. And that's the physical space that you live in. Your tables, your bodies, your buildings, time is often treated separately, which makes reality four dimensional in Einstein's framework, not quantum uh, mysticism. Okay. 4D in physics is time added to space. So it becomes a space time. You ever heard somebody say there's a space time continuum? You're not just moving through rooms, you're moving through moments, past, present, future. They're part of the same fabric. So it's about relativity, not manifestation stuff. Okay. 5D in physics is theoretical. It's like it shows up in advanced theories like the string theory and the and like a extra dimensional model. And these extra dimensions are like compacted or like curled up and mathematically implied. So they're not emotional states. We're not talking about higher vibes. No one is shifting to 5D by drinking celery juice and journaling and shit. So, so when I'm talking about quantum mechanics and different realities and shit like that, I'm mixing frameworks because 3D, 4D, and 5D is just basically me explaining the quantum field and how we maneuver in it in a the way a metaphysician would explain it to you. But physics doesn't back that particular language, but those things are real in that framework. It's just titled something else. So when I'm talking to you with manifestation language, it's because I'm trying to help you understand something that's happening in quantum mechanics. But the only way I can explain it to you in a way that you understand is if I use metaphysics to explain it to you. So they're like spiritual metaphors. I'm explaining science to you using metaphors and spiritual and manifestation language so that you can understand it. So to try to simplify it more, like physics dimensions are like coordinations of reality, and spiritual dimensions are like states of consciousness. So it's two different systems with different jobs. So quantum mechanics doesn't talk about 5D abundance, right? It doesn't talk about it talks about probability and waves. And I try not to justice. I try not to talk about waves and collapsing waves and shit like that, because sometimes when I'm talking about particles and collapsing waves, I lose people with it. because then I'm starting to talk about electrons and protons and shit that has more to do with science. So instead of leaning towards science in that way, I use manifestation terms and metaphysical terms to help you understand the science. So manifestation uses dimensional language. Quantum mechanics is dimensions mathematically. One is describing your inner experience, and the other is describing your external experience. They're both very powerful things, but they aren't the same language. It's basically just all I'm trying to say. The reason why I don't get that deep into it is because this is when it starts getting confusing. When I start talking like a scientist, it just throws people off. It's like people are like, "What?" And I see you say, "I love this conversation," but because you can somewhat keep up with it. But when I want to talk to the masses, it becomes a harder conversation because a lot of them can't grasp something this complex. That's why I use certain, like, for instance, have you noticed like some of the most famous popular content creators out there have the dumbest content? Shit's like brain rot. You be sitting there like, oh my God, this is so stupid. You ever notice that the most popular content out there is something that's stupid and it's just to make you laugh? It's never to make you think. It's never to help you improve. It's never to understand your reality or how to improve your reality or nothing that helps you grow as an individual. It's just something that makes you laugh, right? Because that's where people's mindset is usually at. Like most people operating on a day-to-day basis, they're number one using social media for entertainment. They don't come here to learn shit. They come here to just experience, something to take them away from their life experience. That they might be having something negative, so they come here to either vent, they come here to take a break from their regular life. Okay. But if they understood the concepts that I teach, they wouldn't have to take a break from their life because their entire life would be so fucking phenomenal most of the time that they wouldn't need certain things like this in order to improve or to take their mind off of their negative experiences. Like the reason why so many people troll and shit is because they're so miserable in real life that the only thing that makes them happy is getting onto social media and finding that happiness by emptying out all of that frustration and all of that hatred and all of that misunderstanding of their life experience out on somebody else. This morning, somebody did it to me. Let me explain to you. There's this woman, right? And I had to address her on Facebook because I was like, why there's this woman who used to be friends with my mother. And she was like, the lady was like a drunk. She was like on drugs and shit. And my mother would take care of her son. So her son was like in elementary school and shit like that. And this woman, she had like mental health issues. She drank liquor and shit all the time. And it was so bad that her and my mother started getting into it because her son started looking more towards my mother as like his mother figure. Because my mother used to always be around him. Like anytime I went to my mother's house, he was there. I don't think I ever saw a time where I was like coming over to my mother's house and this little boy wasn't at her house. So this woman was barely spending time with her son because I would never see her, but I always seen him. Always. He would spend the night. He was always there. My mother was helping him with everything. Like my mother was a better parent to a lot of kids. Like she was a terrible mom to me, but she was she was a great mother for my sister. She was a great mom for a whole bunch of other little kids, right? Especially this boy. And so she ended up losing custody of her son to her son's father. And her son's father and my mother get along just fine. And there was a time where my mother lived with the lady's boyfriend and their son. And something happened, right? And I was not around, so I don't know what happened. But something happened between them. They got into an argument and shit. And ever since then, this lady has been mad at my mother. But for some reason, she take it out on me. And let me tell you why I think she take it out on me. Because when I started to notice that this woman didn't have it all together, I told my mother that she needed to step back from this woman. And I personally stepped back from this woman myself because she walked up to me and she asked me this question about my mother that wasn't her business. And I knew she was just this messy woman that didn't genuinely like my mother. So I got away from her. I didn't want nothing to do with her after that. And I told my mother to stop being friends with her. This was many years ago. But since then, this woman has got on social media as often as she can to bother me anytime she feels some negative way about my mother because she can't get in touch with my mom. So anytime she sees me on social media, she uses it as a place to take out on me her frustrations with her own life and her own situation. Now, remember we were sitting here, we were talking about perceptions of reality. Why is this woman's perception of reality set this way? What do you think is her reason for believing what she believes or believing that somehow her bothering me bothers my mother? What limited beliefs does this woman have that would allow her to think that harming me would somehow harm my mother? That's what I don't understand. I try not to think about it too much, but then the question becomes, how did I draw this woman into my life experience? What was I thinking for her to come into my life experience today? Why did she show up in my 3D? Why is she on my receipt? Because I hadn't talked to her. I hadn't seen her on social media in years. It has to have been like 2 or 3 years. She pops up every couple of years, but I had forgot she even existed in general. And then she popped up. Why? When you are looking at your life experience, you're looking at your current circumstances, which is basically a receipt of your life, of your everyday life. You look at the receipt of what's happening today, because today is just nothing but the byproduct of a whole bunch of thoughts that you was thinking before today. When you see something happen in your life experience, like this woman reaching out to me, you need to do one or two. You need to do 2 or 3 things. Okay. Number one, don't fucking crash out. Okay. Like, because it's nothing that you can do about it, because it's a playback. It's not something that you need to crash out about. That's number one. Number two, you need to ask yourself, what the fuck was you thinking before for this negative experience to be happening? Okay, what was you thinking? What was your thought process for this particular experience to burst out on your receipt? And then you need to ask yourself, what would you like to happen next? Because how you respond to what you are observing controls what happens next. Because you're constantly projecting out into your mind what you want to experience more of. Because your perception is reality. So how you perceive it, if you perceive it negative, you are going to project more negatively and continue perceiving negativity. If you perceive it positively, you are going to project positively and see more positive stuff. See what I'm saying? I gotta go. My son is asking for noodles. Okay. My son is asking for noodles. Here, y'all. Donate to me, please. Via Cash App. I would appreciate that. But yeah.